into the topic. All right, so um, you know, I think it was like a few weeks ago we did an episode talking about the trans members in the military
Mm-hmm.
and all the stuff that was happening. Well, it was announced today that the U.S. military has 30 days to set procedures for removing trans troops. A memo was filed in court as part of a lawsuit against the Trump administration. This memo was ordering the Pentagon to identify and fire U.S. trans active military members. This is, of course, after the fact that earlier this month, the Pentagon stated that U.S. military members would no longer allow trans members, however, um, to like actively enlist into the military, but those already like kind of grandfathered in would be treated with honor and respect. So that shit's out the window now, just a few weeks later. And all of this has really been kind of like the latest move to erase really the trans community as a whole from the, I guess, like the world's eye or America's eye, I guess. So for instance, all mentions of trans have been removed from the Stonewall National Monument website after an executive order, even though we know Marsha P. Johnson, a black trans woman, was not only a part of this movement, but is believed to have thrown the very first brick at the Stonewall Inn. Um, and this is something that's a little crazy because I've definitely have gone off on social media of getting into like arguments of like, I don't know, trans hate. So what's really interesting is people have literally told me that the liberals are trying to erase our history,
Yes.
but then you have a Cheeto man in office that's literally trying to erase trans history. Like I don't get it. I don't, and they don't see it. So literally an argument that I got into, I pointed this out. I was like, what the fuck about this then? Um, and the logic or lack thereof that I was hit with was um, trans history is not history because trans is new. And I was like, the fuck are you talking about? So I was like, you realize that like anything in the past is considered like history, right? Like it doesn't have to be 2,000 years ago. It doesn't have to be the pyramids. It doesn't have to be some guy turning water into wine. 100 years ago is considered fucking history. So, anyways, what do you think, Alex? What is your, since you were in the military, and my kind of stance on this is because they're saying that trans members are unfit to serve. And this is something that's very interesting to me because there are a lot of jobs in the military. I mean, I knew a guy who ran a gift store on a fucking aircraft carrier, and I don't even know why the fuck you have a gift store on an aircraft carrier, but he ran the gift store.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so it's really hard for me to like kind of try to understand that like you could say like no, like there's not a single position in the U.S. military that you're fit to do.
So you got three things happening here simultaneously, right? Um, One, in general, I agree with the chat. Okay, if you are willing to sign on said dotted line, raise right hand, and say I am willing to support and defend the Constitution of the United States, and you know, fight it, defend it against all enemies, foreign and domestic. Look, it's an all volunteer military. You need all the bodies you can get, baby. Like, I don't know why you're turning motherfuckers away, right? Like, that's so let's start there, okay? It takes any level of commitment to sign the papers, and anybody who's been through fucking MEPS will tell you, man, that's the first thing. Fuck boot camp. Dude, that MEPS day is miserable, right? When you're doing your entrance stuff for the Army, like, it's horrible. It sucks. Okay? So let's start there. Okay? That's my initial play on this, right? Which was you don't why are we turning people away? Why are we discharging people that want to be in? Okay? Problem number 1. When it comes to the military, there is very, very little that anybody can do because the commander-in-chief is the commander-in-chief, right? Much like with the COVID vaccine stuff, don't get the vaccine, we're kicking you out, right? And there's very little anybody can do about it because it's the Department of Defense. They have congressional and Senate oversight, but that's limited in what it's capable of doing. So it sucks, but I think this is going to stick. But here we get into the problem that the DoD has. And it occurs anytime you have, and it's the nature of the business in our hyper-partisan modern political world where the Secretary of Defense is a political appointee, as he always has been, and is a Senate-confirmed political appointee, okay? That changes with every administration. There is going to be this shit, okay? Because you have a political appointee in that position. And so the whims of the political class who has taken over the White House and the executive branch are going to affect us. I think it's wrong. I think it's stupid. Largely, I think it's stupid because, first off, why would you turn away bodies who are willing to do it? And also, it's such a small percentage of the Department of Defense. Why the fuck are you worried about it? Right? Like, is this really affecting the DoD's ability to complete their mission? And it's not. It's really fucking not. Yeah, both YouTube's and Twitch chat are kind of in agreement on this topic, which is, look, it's dumb. It's fucking dumb. It's fucking dumb. What would be a better way to picture it? You've got to get down to rebuilding the system from the ground up. And I just don't know if we're there as a nation right now to get to that point where we could rebuild the system from the ground up. Have I served with people from the LGBTQ community? Yes, especially Don't Ask, Don't Tell. I had multiple people under my supervision who I was their leader, right? Who were part of that community, right? But I will tell you this, even after Don't Ask, Don't Tell, there was still a political and social price to pay. Okay? Because you're also dealing with culture. And it's a fucking nightmare. The other piece of this is that the leadership in the Department of Defense has also forgot a key thing. And they're like, the DoD is supposed to be apolitical. No, they're supposed to be nonpartisan. You are a political entity. Right? You just are. In fact, you are the last political thing we do. When politics and diplomacy fails, we send the army. Right? They have mistaken being nonpartisan for being apolitical. And I don't know what it's going to take to fix that. There's a lot of pushback within kind of middle rank leadership in the military. I'm seeing a lot of it right now. I don't know how I don't know. And unfortunately, you really can't sue. It's going to be difficult to set lawsuits up. So I'm not sure how this was going to play out. But yes, the trans erasure, this was lock, stock, their goal, right? They removed the T from the LGBT travel advisories on the State Department website. They're removing trans references in Stonewall. Yes, this is a goal because it's red meat for the base that costs them nothing and is easy for them to accomplish politically. It's like the NCAA, the sports ban and federal funding, right? With banning trans athletes. The fact of the matter is it affects what, probably 50 people nationwide, if that, right?
Yeah.
Hence why I'm like, why are you fucking worried about this? Just let the NCAA handle it. But the fact of the matter is it's red meat to the base, right? Look, base, look what we're doing. Look what we're doing. Promises made, promises kept. That's their mentality, right? This is an easy one to toss to them while they pass tax cuts for rich people, right? That's all there is to it. I'm done. That's my piece. Again, I would never turn away anybody who wants to do that miserable fucking job. And it's a miserable fucking job at times. It sucks. You want to do it? Why would you turn them away?
Right.
So, anyway, you have anything else on that one? You want to move on to funnier topics?
I guess real quick, since we've seen a lot of movement on trying to erase the trans community just in general, what do you think is the next step? What do you think they're going to go after next?
I don't know. And so this is where, again, we get into weird territory because they're going to cross a line. And ironically, the current court is not really on their side, right? The current court is the one that ruled that discriminating against someone who's trans is discrimination based on sex per the Civil Rights Act, right? And it was Neil Gorsuch, Trump's first appointee, who wrote the opinion, right? Gorsuch wrote the Bostock opinion and pissed a lot of conservatives off when he did it, right? Because he was supposed to be, he's a Trump nominee, right? He's not supposed to do that. He wrote the Bostock opinion. So I don't know which way this court's going to go on this particular issue because, again, they went the way that we didn't expect in Bostock. Bostock v. Clayton County was the case. And it was an employer who fired somebody for being trans, right? And the opinion of the court, written by Neil fucking Gorsuch, was, yeah, if you fire somebody for being gay or trans, you are discriminating based on sex, right? Like, that's what it is. So, plain text reading of the Civil Rights Act. And again, conservative justice. Do I know if that's going to be the case going forward? Nope, no idea. But, so that's why I'm having a hard time telling what they're going to do. We're still, and this is the thing that I caution. I had a conversation with a friend of mine the other day who's, like you, very frustrated. Like, it's so hard to keep up with everything that's happening. I go, remember, these guys are only about a month and a half into this. We don't really know how this is all going to shake out yet because we haven't had time for the Supreme Court and everybody else and the process to play out. And there's a few ways this can go, and I'll be honest, I'm stuck. I have no idea which way this is going to go. In the meantime, they're going to hurt a lot of people before we get to the resolution. I just don't know what it's going to be. Did any of what I say make sense?
We're angry, and it's shitty. What the fuck? No, it does make sense. I just honestly, I can't believe. I know we're about like a month in. I can't believe that we're here. Like,
I can.
I fucking can't. I think like my favorite kind of shirt that I've been seeing is make 1984 fiction again.
Yeah.
Like,
to me, we knew and we tried to tell people Project 2025 was the goal. We told people, take this fucker seriously. He's dead serious about what he wants to do. And there were so many people who fell into that like lean Trump camp who were like, no, he's not. It's hyperbole. You know, I can't tell you how many news stories I've seen this week of people who are like, I voted for Trump and now I'm getting railed up the butt. Like, we fucking told you. We told you this was the plan. We knew. Everybody on our side knew. You know. So, but that's probably a topic for another day. Let's let more of the fuck around and find out. Anyway, people, let us know what you think down in the comments below. We're gonna move on to fun time. But yeah, I mean, it's shitty.